Alrighty, hello every folks. Sorry for the excessive wait there. That was a bit longer than I would have liked, but no, stuff happens. You know, those moments where you're just going and carrying some laundry real quick, and suddenly the entire laundry basket just shatters into several pieces for some reason? Yeah, apparently that's how plastic works today. Anyway, so... Whoa, holy dang, that is a diaper I'm gonna have to change soon. Not sure if that came through, there was just a bubbling horribleness. Came from over there. Anyway, so, where were we last time? Well, we had one still sticking over here. We had these two stragglers still kind of doing their thing, so hopefully, gonna be able to have just Troy go deal with them. I mean, he's got dudes, they've got stuff, so we'll see what they can do. Now, command-wise, let's see. If he gets double buffed, that's probably ideal. If we just slap this one back here, he should be the only one taking damage. So, you know what? Eventually, like, if they keep pounding on this guy, I'm sure eventually they'll be able to pull it off. Meanwhile, probably want to go ahead and send Barbara, or maybe even Butts down here. Because Butts is getting a little bit too expensive to actually go and train, so... You know, provided that we can actually do some stuff with him. That might be the way to go. Now, first off, what is your condition? Yeah, he's in good enough shape. So 157, he should be able to... Actually, that's a full squad. Maybe I should just leave them alone. Might be the way to do it, because we've really taken a lot of casualties this time. In fact, is there even... Okay, that's the revival town, so... That's the one that Steve would have to take. So I'm gonna let Steve recover real quick. Gonna go ahead and have him, or gonna go have Troy try to take care of this. We'll see how that works out. So yeah, that's kind of the plan here. By the way, I had kind of a weird idea earlier. You know what, maybe I'll just wait to start off with that until there's more folks here. Actually, I think we're gonna want to move that little soldier guy somewhere else. Yeah, I think we're going to move him up to the front. That's not looking terribly safe for him. What you're going to do, first of all, is you're going to go ahead and use your items. Now, this may seem wasteful at first, but I don't think so. The thing is, if they get better from this, they'll avoid future injuries, so it should be a lot better. Now, what I want to do is actually rearrange this party a little bit. Go ahead and stick this little guy down here. Go stick these up here. Hopefully they will target these two, or maybe even just do this. So hopefully that'll either target here or here, maybe even move this one here. So hopefully it'll just target them. And that being the case, you know, they may just end up taking all the damage because they're not really taking much from it. So that's kind of the plan there. Any darn ways. Oh, look at that! Twitch finally bothered to get back to me as far as an email I sent them the other day. Funnily enough, they actually said that they wouldn't get back to me, so, you know, that's nice. But yeah, no, I had to contact them a few times because, I kept having this strange issue when I was going and submitting some papers for them. But they were basically saying, like, oh yeah, the thing doesn't match, it doesn't match. So I'm thinking, like, okay, maybe I'm just being an idiot, maybe something's not going right here. And it turns out, no, even though I am normally an idiot, that wasn't actually the situation that was occurring. It basically came down to the fact that, there we go, that should hopefully, no wait. Let's change, hopefully that'll be okay. Hopefully they don't target in the second row. Anyway, so yeah, it turns out that, yeah, no, their system just apparently auto-rejected in the situation where somebody would go and submit part of their address in the same line as the first one. So that would have been kind of nice for them to actually mention. But instead they're like, no, 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 you did it wrong, you did it wrong, you did it wrong, and then it turns out no. It was just their system being weird, because when I went and put it in two separate places, they're like, no! So you can't possibly have it in two separate places, and then I put them in the same place, and they're like, no, you can't have it, and then I put it in the other way, and it was suddenly fine. For whatever reason. So, you know. As you do. Alright, so as long as they don't get a crit, this should hopefully work. And I think eventually they'll be able to hack them down. As far as dealing with this whole situation, probably tiring them out and having Steve go at them, maybe. Probably the way to go. So now that I know that he's able to attack the back row regardless of where the hell he is, I think we're going to leave him in that formation. And we're actually going to go ahead and send him down there. Actually, no, there was that squad over here, wasn't there? I think they're still around. No, they're not still around, because they were corralled into that town, and then that town got squished, and, you know, all that kind of stuff. So at some point, we'll deal with Dragon Squad up there. It's still going to be its own little kettle of fish. Nobody likes your kettles of fish. Why would you put them in a kettle? That's just mean. Anyway, come on, keep slashing, keep doing your thing. Joe got this! Should only take one more encounter, I should hope. Alright, but yeah, so if anybody looking at this happens to ever be interested in doing the whole Twitchy type thingy, turns out that, yeah, there's a weird bug with their inputs. So, you know, that's nifty. Let's go ahead and get him healed up. I'm actually gonna probably go ahead and send him to town. Go pick up a few more items. And yeah, may actually have to pause it real quick in just a moment to go deal with a couple things. Because, you know, stuff always tends to come up at the least opportune time, as it were. Such as just life in a nutshell. Oh well. You know what? Just make stuff more interesting. Alright, so... Clean with the wind. That's all well and good. Round shield, now it's cheap. Oh, you know what? I gotta be right back anyway, so... One sec. Alrighty, and I am back. So, okay, here's the deal. Something or other is probably happening. Also, let's go ahead and sell maybe some of this stuff. I'm hitting the wrong buttons here, dang it. I'm going and using PS1 Marshall Black Queen controls all of a sudden. Which, by the way, if you've if you've never played the PS1 version of that, definitely recommendable. It's quite fantastic. Paxton, would you please get out of that chair? Thank you. Appreciate it. Alright, also, was kind of looking around last time at all the different things we have, and I'm thinking there might be potential here for getting one of those phalanx, not phalanx, but whatever the hell they were called, the upgraded Troy, as we're going to go with. Because, okay, we've got a boulder spear. The shield that they're using looked like a boulder shield. Helmet-wise, I'm assuming they'll probably use like a boulder helm or an armament or something. And armor-wise, I'd assume they're running either boulder or plate armor or just a regular plate mail, because that's kind of what they had before. But either way, if anyone happens to know, please let me know. I kind of wish that they would take the ones that are already used out of your inventory, because this system is kind of confusing, not gonna lie. Anyway, did I do the thing that I wanted to do? I think so. I'm gonna go ahead and hope that I did. So we'll do that. Anyway, you know, there was actually there was a different kind of challenge that I was planning to do today, because at first I wasn't sure if I'd be able to even go back to my desk, because I came home and I found out apparently my daughter had a funny idea going out the door to her doctor's appointment, because she was like, okay, you know, that sure would be funny if I went ahead and turned the knob on this oven here, so it basically smelled like a gas leak everywhere. So that was fun. Anyway, alright, so he's in town. Now, let's do this thing. So you go to the store, you go ahead and pick up your items, and we're going to go ahead and pick up some of these dealies. There we are. Purchase 4 of those. Will they carry them? Hell yeah, they will. Not purchase any more of this item. Oh, they have limited stock. Oh, crap. Well, I wish I hadn't just accidentally stored them. You know what, in that case, let's go ahead and have you retreat real quick. Can I do that? Okay. Let's go to the organized screen. Let's go ahead and pack you up with items. There we go. I think use item is the same as give item. I can't be absolutely certain. Where the hell are you, Mr. Troy Man? Here we are. Okay. Use of this item will have no effect. Good to know. So that was not the right thing. Also, list item, what the hell is this? Magic hourglass that slows the passage of time? What? Does that mean Pendras? I think that means Pendras. Okay, well, that seems incredibly useful. Now then. Character commands, can I... where is give item? Yeah, carry item, there we go. Why does all this stuff have to be in different places? Who the hell knows? There we go. I wonder if that gender switching thing might be potentially useful. So what if I turn Katrina into a dude and make them into a like, sorcerer or something? I don't know. Or get another one of those fancy upgraded archers. I don't know. Okay. So dispatch, let's get Troy out here. Alright, I probably should have used an item before sending him out. But, you know, I don't brain so good, so let's go ahead and drop that sucker on there. And there we go, 50 billion years later, he's finally able to attack again. And they're taking a nap, so good. Hopefully Barbara will be able to deal with this. What is the status of these Chuckle Nuggets right over here? So they've got a Griffin and 2 Goblins with fancy upgraded weapons that are about to pass out. Meanwhile, these birds are in unknown condition. I think I might as well have her attack the Swordmaster squad first, then. Yeah, this whole falling asleep and recovering mechanic is making me think of Monster Hunter. Oh man, that stream is really way behind now, ain't it? That's weird. Why is that being so weird? Oh yeah, but anyway, so I actually had a bit of a masochistic challenge that I was planning to give a little bit of a try. Don't quite know whether or not it can work. I'm actually pretty certain it can work, but you know, I'm not terribly confident in terms of whether the I'm certain about the run being amusing. I have no idea whether or not the actual recording part is possible. Because I know for a fact that it's possible to stream off of PS4, which is what I was planning to do for it. But I have zero idea on whether I can actually make the audio work, because it does not seem to function with my headset. For some reason, my headset does not get recognized by that thing. So I have another one that's technically like a phone-type situation that might work. Maybe? So, who knows? Maybe there will be an answer to that, maybe it would just end up being one of those ones where it's all muted and everything, and everyone's grateful for me not opening my stupid mouth. Who knows? Who knows? Now, you may be wondering what the hell I was talking about. Well, I was planning to do a Fallout 4 run, but not even a slightly normal one. The general idea was actually to go through it never taking any armor whatsoever, never using any ranged weapon except for a syringer. So basically, going to be using a spear and syringer throughout the entire run, unless something else, like melee-wise, happens to be interesting. I just want some excuse to use a spear. And yeah, never take a perk. So basically, never unlock any of the abilities, never do any of that. So, you know, might be interesting. I'll pardon you for having a short rest. Yeah, your rest is over in 3, 2, 1, and go ahead and break camp and attack, please. Yeah, see, this is the power of just like friggin' power naps, and then you attack the other guy while they're still going and sleeping all the way through the night. That's what they get for being chuckle buckets. But anyway, so was excited to give that kind of run a try. It seems fun. It seems really fun because, quite frankly, the idea came from I was thinking about FO4 a little bit. I was thinking, you know how like in every horror movie ever, there's that one, just like completely, just like they get killed off in the first 5 seconds, like random valley girl or whatever, that's just sitting there whining the entire time. Basically, I was thinking, make that character, and then and then just yeah, gonna have them camp until these guys fall asleep. So basically, make that character, and then just try to get through the entire game using that. Which, yeah, seems like it would be pretty fun. Would result in pretty much getting one-shotted by everything. Oh yeah, and I should probably mention it would become the hardest difficulty. Because it's the only one that has the survival options, which are actually surprisingly fun. It's funny, that game is actually, in all fairness, under its normal difficulties, it's absolute hot garbage, but then you end up turning on the survival stuff, it's like, this is clearly what this was made for. Everything makes sense in this difficulty, though. I will say the NPCs are still incredibly stupid and tedious. Like, by tedious, I mean that they whine all the time. All they do is whine. And oftentimes, it's just jarring how much they whine. Like, okay, so you get a bunch of people there, you put up a beacon, you put up, you give them fresh water, fresh food, fresh everything. It's like, okay, you are gonna sit here, and, you basically, your job is to go pick this one piece of corn, or, like, go pick these 5 pieces of corn, like, every couple days. That is your job. And then they will just stand around taking naps or sitting in a chair or whatever else, and every time you run by them, like, oh, another day of hard work! And they're just doing nothing. It's like, dude, seriously? Like, your job is to pick that one piece of corn, and it has not been picked for 3 days. What the hell are you here for? Like, providing you with all the security here, built all this huge perimeter around here, gave, like, half the population friggin' mech suits to run around in. What exactly is your problem? It's like, this is... I'm just completely carrying the situation for you. Anyway, it's just especially jarring once you get to the survival mode thing, because you're basically keeping everybody there alive, and all they do is whine. So much so that I've never seen a thing where I probably had a lower opinion of NPCs ever. Just the worst NPCs from any other game don't even come close to that one. It's like, all they do is whine, whine, whine. Ay. Oh well, what can you do? That's why you just go ahead and give them sucky jobs. Like, oh yeah, your job is to go stand here, just like repeatedly run on this mine over and over. That's what you get for complaining about picking corn. Just wanted to make some glue, dang it. But yeah, I'm sure all of it's been said a million times before. And yeah, I'm just gonna leave Steve in the front here. He's doing great. He's doing just fine. Slowly stepping around his fallen comrades. All awkward-like. Yeah, I didn't even get a chance to heal him. Oh well, hopefully he'll take them all out. Blasticator, I heard mech suits, I'm interested. Oh well. Yeah, I was talking about FO4 real quick with a weird run that I was planning to try at some point if I could get all the recording stuff working properly for it. The long and short of it was, yeah, basically I was curious to see what would happen if it, like, what the actual result would be of going through the entire thing, never taking armor, a proper weapon, so like no guns except the syringe rifle, just because that thing is not, it's basically a toy, and then just like no armor, no mech suits, no nothing, like give all those to the villagers or something, and try to get through the entire thing that way, which probably would result in some completely bizarre situations. Yes. So normally I'm not a huge fan of FO4, but I don't know, was trying some weird challenges on it lately and found it weirdly amusing. More of a New Vegas guy myself, but you know. I'm always doing Ogre Battle and TO challenges, so sometimes you get a little bit curious to try other stuff too. Can't try everything. What's this? Scroll of Discipline? That sounds like 600 free bucks. Don't think we're going to turn anybody particularly lawful. Apparently it only works like 3 points in that direction out of 100. Wait. A wild cock? Oh my god, the chickens, they're real. They're coming back. They're coming out of the woodwork. Join us. Yes. You know what? This chicken just survived from murdering half the team before. And he's like, hey, I respect you for beating our squad. I just want to be part of you. So, yeah, that's what happened. That's how that's going to go. So let's go ahead and drop this sucker over here. Now, Barbara, are you in at least somewhat acceptable condition? So you're okay, your fairy's damaged. I'm gonna go with maybe. Formation-wise, let's see, they got pretty busted up sitting over there. Let's just switch sides. Maybe they'll turn out okay. Drop a heat leaf on them. There we go. Let's see. That thought made me feel like I've had some tough choices at the same time. It's made me regret choices. Yeah, I mean, like, honestly, New Vegas in particular, I feel completely nailed that one. Which I know that's one that's been mentioned to death, but it's like, dude, that so far is probably my favorite version. The second one probably being March of the Black Queen, but that's my favorite version of just generally how choices should be done. Because every single run I've done has resulted in some manner of tragedy. Probably my favorite run was actually one where just about everything went completely haywire. Like, to the point where even my favorite follower character got killed off randomly. Like, if you ever play through that one with, like, let's say the Jay Sawyer mod or something like that, and then you just live by every decision. You just go full Iron Man mode on that thing. And, oh man, it's so good. Like, especially if you do a random start or something like that. Man. Like, everything just fits so well. But yeah, it's funny because, yeah, a couple of games in this series have done a pretty similar job in terms of actually making the decisions stick. Like, I've had a friend of mine that's been going and explaining what each of the decisions have been doing so far throughout this run. And it's like, okay, everything is doing a lot more than I would have expected. Like, apparently several party members would have either lived or died or joined or deserted by this point. The party would look entirely different, and there have only been like 3 actual choices. The rest have just been passive stuff. But yeah, I absolutely love when those systems are done well. Like, they did it pretty well, I'd say, in March of the Black Queen. It was a little bit unforgiving, though. Like, Mr. Blasticator, have you ever played any of the OB series? By chance? Yes, no, maybe so? I will go ahead and wait for a response. Of course, there's a pretty hefty delay going on today for one reason or another, so can't expect a response that quickly. Just two? Hang on, just two... Wait, as in just the second one, or both of them? Because there have technically been two Ogre Battle games. Well, actually, no. There have been three Ogre Battle games. Just one of them was on the frickin' Game Gear and only came out in Japanese, and is basically March of the Black Queen anyway, so... Okay, both. But yeah, so... I freaking love those kinds of systems. So then I don't need to explain what it does. Because what it does awesomely. God, I love this series. It's just so fun. There's so many little things they did well, you know? Like, I mean, this one... I have to say, like, this and March of the Black Queen, as much as I love Tactics Ogre, as much as I've played those things... Oh, hello! That's fancy. What the hell's that do? It's even friggin' fancier than... Oh man, that's gonna be one of those ones for, Dragoons, isn't it? Let's see. Shield made of dragon scales. Resist strike, resist fire. Okay. I guarantee you that's gonna be part of the dragon set. So that's one of 4 items to get a Dragoon, I think. But yeah. So, you ever played Tactics Ogre at all? The, sort of side games that sort of became the main games that sort of also got killed off by a different main game? You know what, the series is hard to follow. I think it's fair to say. Like, I legitimately... everything that could go strange with this series did. Like, it's just so bizarre that one person looking at one screen one day is the whole reason that the series does not exist anymore. I mean, so yeah, I know I reiterate the story a fair bit, but if you didn't know, apparently some execs over, I think it was over at Sony or Square or something, but they were looking at footage of all kinds of different games because they wanted a strategy game. They're like, okay, you know, we need somebody that can do it well, and they're like, hey, we'll get this Matsuno guy, and he worked on this thing, and they showed them Tactics Ogre Let Us Cling Together. Let's see, it was turned off by its turn order. If you didn't like the turn order, there's particularly one that switched to a team-based system rather than an individual-based system, so that was Night of... Oh, it's okay, kiddo, here you go. It's all good. What on earth are you watching? There you go. There you go. Alrighty, anyway, so... But yeah, so the turn order thing, they actually changed it for one of the games, which is funny because apparently Matsuno disliked it so much that he actually went and like rendered the thing non-canon. You know what the best part is? Like he can say it's non-canon. He technically did say it's non-canon, but wait, which one was that? Night of Lotus. It's the one that came out on GBA. It's the one that I'm actually doing a mermaid challenge of at this point. But it's basically it's like a reimagining of the SNES or PS1 game. It's basically a prequel to that, where you play as the main antagonist from the other game, and it's just kind of their origin story kind of thing. They take a lot of similar story beats and they condense them down into a much shorter game, but there's so many better systems in that one that it's not even funny. Like, for example, with classes, instead of just getting stats or needing an item to upgrade them, they actually have to go and they have to earn what is basically a badge for doing a particular thing. So, like, say when an archer, you basically take a regular soldier, you give them a bow, you know, they fire at 30 targets, they hit 3 times in a row, they're like, okay, you've earned the right to be an archer now. Or you have somebody that wants to be a sword master, they have to evade, I think, like 5 times in a row or something. You know, you want to have somebody be a dragoon, they have to kill 5 dragons. It's like, it's just a cool thing. Just bear in mind, the presentation is not amazing. I mean, the thing is on the GBA, it's technically impressive on the GBA, but just so you know, it kind of, you know, compared to other stuff, looks a little iffy. So just bear that in mind. Anyway, so yeah, personally, like, that's my current favorite order of games in the series is probably still, like, One Vision way up there at the top, because that mod is amazing. Then probably Night of Lotus, and then I would say probably OB64. Because, like, just those are the 3 that completely blow my mind every time I play them. But, anyway, let's see. Fire Emblem did it right for me. Don't like waiting for a long list of units. It's, I mean, it's kind of, sort of, a little bit like that, I suppose. I Actually, wait, Fire Emblem had some really long turns, though. I mean, I guess it depends which one you were talking about. I mean, I know the latest ones, the TS, had such friggin' long turns that they ended up adding a button that just basically said skip the entire enemy turn. Which, honestly, more games should do, but I can't even imagine what that would look like for, like, say, the PSP version of Tactics Ogre. It's like you hit the button to skip the enemy turns, and it's like, okay, you have lost 3 units, these 8 guys are stunned. You've got 2 guys that have decided to just turn on each other for no reason. You know, all kinds of stuff like that. But yeah. The Knight of Lotus is the ballerness, is what I'm getting at. So, let's see, come on, you gotta be able to win this. If he can just hold for one more round, then he can use some healing leaves. Dang it, they technically lost. That's fine, that's fine. After this, I'm gonna pop that hourglass on him. Which is funny because I was joking about him getting a time turner during this fight, and he totally did. At least I think that's what that thing is. Alright, let's go ahead and heal this one. Because I believe those back ones can only get hit by AoE. And we're going to go ahead and heal Steve. And then hopefully they should be able to keep this together. So we'll see. Alright, let's do this thing. But yeah, so, if you haven't seen the fairy challenge before, the long and short of it is just yeah. More than, like, half or more of the team has to be fairies. This is the 4th part of a fairly extensively long challenge so far, which actually started in Knight of Lotus, then went to Let Us Cling Together, then March of the Black Queen, and now OB64. Alright, there we go, that's one more down. Keep bouncing off, please keep bouncing off. So, we still technically lost it. We might have to accept a loss here. Let's see, Fire Emblem never used turn order, you decide the order of the units. Yeah, that's the same thing that Knight of Lotus did. Alright, let's go ahead and change its formation a little bit. Swap those 2 out. And we should... Actually, can we swap these 2? There we go, that should give us just enough health to keep this thing going. Them taking this town is a bit of a bummer, because we ended up losing all the good progress from before. When you mentioned the mod, were you talking about the mod you're using for this game? I'm not actually using a mod for this game. There's basically a save editor that I'm using to make the fairy run possible, but it's not technically a mod. The one that I'm talking about is One Vision. It's a... Oh man, it's dangerous to try this one more time. I'm gonna have to have him camp. It sucks. Alright. Steve, here's the thing. You need to back off right now, because that's 30 health on you. Don't want to risk that. But Butts can go ahead and clean house here. Let's go ahead and make that happen. Probably get Rick in there as well. Yeah, the mod that I was talking about is One Vision. That's for... Oh, son of a dick. That's bad. That's really bad. That's bad times. Okay, please don't crit him or something. Okay. Miss. Okay, they're just cleaving and thunder flaring, whatever. Okay, they got one more down. Get the hell out of there. Good. Okay, let me know when you're back. Wait, I'm talking to somebody that just said they'd be alright. Whatever. I don't brain so good, okay? Okay, so, Mr. Steve, you go ahead and recover. That got really close. That's the closest it's been so far to him get... Actually, no, the closest was March of the Black Queen, where he got down to, like, 1 health. But that was, oof. That's why you never use the Sun card. Like, oh yeah, let me just go ahead and use this thing that'll totally win the game. Oh, wait. Delicious coffee. I succeeded in doing the thing. Good. I'm gonna succeed in liberating these guys of life. Okay, Mr. Butts, need you in that pursuit as well. Okay, so they're gonna carve down those. We've got the guy with the golems up there. I'm just gonna, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and try to do a little bit of a thing with Aisha here. It's like, unless the golems and the other guy said, get everything at once, then should hopefully be good. So, One Vision, what game is that for? That is for the PSP version of Let Us Come Together. Now, if you've never played the original version of that, usually it's recommended to give it, one token try, just to, get a basic idea for how it goes. But it's basically a remake that started off really promising, and then, well, let's just say they took a few turns that they really shouldn't have, where a lot of the balance kind of, like around Chapter 4 of what could effectively be called 8 chapters, it started really falling apart. So, like, to give you an idea of what happened there, the original game was meant to be 4 chapters, as in the game that it was remaking was 4 chapters. That's what they, what they copied. So, like, the Japanese version, all of the base stats and everything else went up 10 times as fast. So that version, if you play through it, it seems it's pretty jacked up, but generally speaking, everybody can still do damage. With the US version, we kind of got an odd duck situation where, yeah, they lowered the growth rates by about 10 times, they increased crafting success rates, and then they nerfed the AI. But anyway, it wound up being really strange because they had entire weapon classes that seemed useless. Like, for example, you had axes where it honestly didn't make sense to use them most of the time. Like, it's just almost everything was superior about other stuff. Like, why would you ever use an axe, which has really iffy finishing moves and generally does very little damage, compared to an axe, or a hammer, rather, which more people can use. It's got way better finishing moves, it's got way better availability, there's a lot less challenge in obtaining the good ones. There's no reason not to use that one, so, naturally somebody would. Anyway, so to get to my point there, One Vision is essentially a mod that takes the balance from these older games, like, for example, like OV64 or the original SNES or PS1 games, and it basically takes a bunch of references to those. Like, it takes a lot of different notes from these. Actually, wait. No, let's have you move back here, and I want you to camp real quick. So it takes a lot of notes from these. It basically just makes balance consistent across the board. So, for example, you had things like when you would go and you're looking at a piece of armor for somebody. And they would say something along the lines of, okay, you get like 3 vitality and 4 extra health out of it, and you get this, that, or the other, and it's just like the smattering of random stats. So it got really weird to build characters, because a lot of times it was just hard to keep up with what did what exactly. So, it got a little bit confusing. So what One Vision changed is that they went and they made everything consistent. So, like, for example, you give somebody a heavy plate, it's gonna feel like they've got heavy plate. Specifically, one of the big imbalances of the original PSP game was that there were certain classes, namely archers and ninjas, who were comically overpowered. Like no contest levels of overpowered. The actual endgame meta for, well, pretty much everybody, it's starting at about, I don't know, a few fights in, all the way up to the end of the game, archers were just completely dominant over every other class. They had given them a sort of a dead zone in where they fire, in an attempt to make them weaker, but from their original game, I should mention. But yeah, no, they would just one-shot things left and right. It was really strange. Like, they'd been given a whole bunch of weird balances off in the background, and the idea was that they were supposed to be kind of like a middle-of-the-line character, but what resulted was a stupidly powerful a ranged attacker that could hit like halfway across the map. It was nuts. So what One Vision did was basically make them all plinky. You had knights that actually felt tanky. The original had like Terror Knights, for example, which were meant to be a frontline debuff caster type thing, and they were made of tissue paper. So like now they're actually bulky. Or previously they had for some reason taken some notes from MMOs, and they added in a whole bunch of strange things like you have Healing Leaf, and then you have +1, +2, +3. Then you have Healing Seed, +1, +2, +3. Then you've got Healing Salve, +1, +2, +3. And it's just like, why are there so many healing items? I think he actually, I think Rakes, the guy that made the mod, I think he even said that once all was said and done, there were like 20 different healing items for just basic healing. So it went down to the series norm, which was just, you got a leaf, that does 50. You got a seed, that does 100 or 150, whatever he decides to actually leave it at. You got a salve, that does 50%. Done. You know, we're good there. It's all done. It's just, we don't need anything else beyond that. And so all of those extra items became other things, you know, there's so much that was changed in that mod. I literally have a guide that I've been writing for months for that thing, trying to... do healing items break? Why wouldn't they? Well, to be fair, in the SNES game, you would just use a healing item once and that was it. In the PSP version, you have a full, like, party stock, except you have one of your 10 skill slots that you invest in Field Alchemy, which basically just tells what kind of stuff you have access to. So, for example, instead of giving somebody just one healing item, you instead have something where it's like, okay, you've got, like, 50, let's say, you know, healing seeds or whatever, but anyone that's using a basic item setup does not have access to those, but somebody that has Field Alchemy 1 or 2 does have access to them, that kind of thing. So they do break, but they are pretty good. And yeah, they got rid of the tedious crafting thing from the PSP original, too. That's probably the biggest selling point, actually. According to a lot of folks, anyway. Because, yeah, they had a crafting system wherein... Like, say for those healing items, like, there was a particular debuff called Bewitch that you kept running into repeatedly around the end of the game. So around Chapter 4 onwards, you had gremlins and casters and everything else. You kept using Bewitch. It's basically charm that would not be breakable by being attacked. So over and over and over, it would just be this situation where, you know, one gremlin flies up, bewitches 4 different units, and you're just sitting there watching all your guys beat the hell out of each other, and you're powerless to do anything against it. If you have a cleric, they have one move called Ease. You have to use that thing like 4 times in a row for it to actually get used on Bewitch, because it only works on one debuff at a time, and for some reason the priority for Bewitch is way lower than, I think, like Shackle, Bind, and Stop. So if they've got any of those, well, you're spending multiple turns in order to actually fix them. If you've got things like, say... Oh yeah, so I should point out, there is an item to actually fix it. And in the original, you know what their logic was? Like, okay, we have an item that'll fix it. Instead, it needs a 60% chance to succeed, and you need to take a multi-step process going through the crafting book. So you need to spend, like, I'd say 2 to 3 minutes per item in order to craft this stupid thing. And then you have to keep spamming them constantly on so many endgame fights. So unless you go for the full meta build, like your archers carrying around scrolls and just basically nuking everything, it just, like, that was basically the meta. You have everybody running around naked with maxed out stats, with like a crossbow or a bow or something, with carrying a bunch of scrolls with them to just AoE nuke, and you're basically going in like a friggin' SEAL team at that point. Like, it's not a... You're not holding lines and, you know, doing all this tactical stuff and everything else. You're literally just going in like a frickin' SEAL team. It's such a bizarre tonal shift that it ends up taking at that point. So, anyway, so that's one of those things that it ends up fixing. Like, it was a real shame because some of the cool maps that they added to the post-game were just really, really nice. Like, for example, there's the San Bronze maps, right? So it's literally a floating sky heaven island thing. And they've got all these cool layouts and everything else and all these different encounters. And, you know, you're just running around just AoE nuking everything. It's not... There's no actual strategizing going on. Going through it on one vision, you end up using those same formations that you've used from the start of the game. You know, you end up being able to still use a bunch of, you know, tanks and shield walls and things like that. You're able to use archers as harassment instead of assassin units. You're able to actually use casters for debuffs. There's almost no point to even use debuffs at that point in the game originally. Like, it's kind of nuts. It's kind of nuts just how many things happen there. Give archers G81, it would be a downgrade. Like, it would be a freaking downgrade. Like, if you've ever seen the site I put together, it's niche-games.com, and then there's just Tactics Ogre Guide on there, or a One Vision Guide on there. And that's why, for the archers, there's just there's just a GIF from if you've ever seen oh, what the hell was it called? Ah, it was the Rambo parody Weird Al did forever ago. I think it was called like VHS or something. But anyway, so yeah, it's just a picture of him just like firing an arrow and a guy disintegrates. It's basically that. Like, there's really no difference. They're so ridiculously overpowered, it's not even funny. It's okay, slowly but surely we're whittling these guys down here. They really, really upped it for this fight, and I've been told specifically, like, this particular one, I took it at the worst possible time. Seeing One Vision has inspired me to look into editing tactics Ogre as well, but honestly it's a bit imposing, haven't done hex editing in years. Yeah, and it is a beast! Like, honestly, if you're looking for doing some stuff, maybe ask Rakes for some pointers, because, dude, he has been at it for years at this point. Like, that dude is dedicated. It's a really, really daunting project, because you have to consider every single item, every single fight, every single unit, under every single situation has its own set of different circumstances. So, like, for example, right now he's going through and editing all the battles and things like that. And just, like, even that is expected to take months to actually complete, so, like, just, oof. That is some doing. That is definitely some doing. Mr. Butts, are you, by any chance, back in your baubles here? Good. Let's go ahead and have you hopefully try to hack somebody down if I can actually select the correct option here. There we go. You go do your thing. Don't want to bother Rakes too much. You know, he's a nice guy. I'm pretty sure he won't mind too much. But yeah. Dude's pretty awesome. Actually, courtesy of Mr. Rakes, there's going to be another run of One Vision relatively soonish. I'm still deciding when to actually put it in, but I'm calling it the Danger Zone run. But it's basically just going to be Griffins and Cockatrices. But yeah, that's why it's called the Danger Zone run. If I can... Oh, what the hell? Child, why are you looking at depressing news? Here you go. Here's this. It's like over here... He runs up with her little iPad. It's like, oh, Trump's still threatening to shut down government. Like, dang it, dude! Why does my child have to hear about this guy's shenanigans? Just, no. Let's see, if I did anything, I'd want to play a randomizer. I tried that, it works. Like, on OV, it totally works. But yeah, generally you want to do it from wheel to side. I can actually send you the wheels if you'd like, because I still have those saved somewhere. I think her squad should be in good enough condition to make this happen. But yeah, I can probably post the wheels on the site, actually. Just in case other folks want to take a look at them. But yeah, I think their attack has been nerfed enough to the point where they should be able to take these guys down. I'll hope, anyway. But yeah, randomizer is really fun for OV. Let's see. Used to think the Lagoos and Fire Emblem were a tad overpowered. Yeah, the friggin' Let Us Cling Together archers are hilariously OP. Actually, it's funny because the PS1 version and the SNES version, same game basically, it was just a port. Although, man, if that PS1 version had never come out, God, the game probably would have done, this entire series probably would have been done so much better. As much as I love the PS1 version, it's actually just the fact that its translation came out at the worst possible time and basically killed the series. That for some reason a lot of reviewers went and trashed the entire thing, saying that, like, oh yeah, look, this series is trying to rip off our amazing FFT over here. It's like, yeah, no, FFT was inspired by this, it's literally the same guy, what the hell, you absolute dick? Did you do any research? And the answer was no. Anyway, but yeah, so randomizer, definitely very fun. 10 out of 10 would recommend. What resulted last time when I tried it, is there's actually a couple cheat codes that you probably want to use for that as well. But when I tried it, it was like using a Lich, 2 Angel Knights, and I think like a soldier with a bunch of weapon loadouts that didn't even make sense, and it was still possible. Actually, if anyone here is curious, did anyone here watch the Scrooge run, like up until it ended a few days ago? Just out of curiosity. Anybody? Because that was basically the point I was trying to make with that run. Like, where it's just basically, even with the worst possible equipment, with OV, it's still possible. Like, it is legit still possible. So I'm gonna move her this way real quick, just to try to scare them off that castle. Because ideally I want to have them running backwards. Alright, please get off ye castle. This is just a one night, and I know for a fact that these guys can take them. So if I can get that free EXP, that'd be great. Give me your XPs. I'm almost tempted to send all of my squads back, and maybe give Steve some super amazing team in order to come back and use that hourglass. Wonder if I can somehow get that hourglass onto him. Because that feels like what we need, because what we need is a Pendra in order to be able to beat this guy. And almost all of my teams are toast. Like, it's gonna take a lot to actually reassemble all this crap. I think Aisha's team is actually currently the most intact. But yeah, so yeah, I think what I'll probably do on that whole randomizer thing, and remind me if I forget, I'll probably put together an article for it tomorrow and include the codes that they need to make it run. I'll probably include a little section explaining how to use those codes, because that's not always clear to everybody too. Alright, so they've arrived at destination. Aisha, why don't you go ahead and chase this Chuckle Bucket down a little bit, so that he runs into Rick. What in the hell are you doing? Do not engage the boss. Do not engage. Do not engage. Now is not the time for marriage. Okay. Let's go this way. Yeah, there's been a lot of growling this time, I gotta say. Alright. Now let's get you over this way. Okay, good. Probably go ahead and have her camp, actually. If you can chase him into the mountains, that'd be ideal. So yeah, gonna have him move forward a little bit just so he's off the castle, because he keeps gravitating towards that stupid thing. Come on. Rick, I swear to God, man, there's something weird with the pathfinding here. Because this little weird situation is what caused the run to get all jacked up last time. Just because Steve was over there and he was like, oh yeah, let me do a little loop-de-loop. And just pretty much delay the fight forever. Team marriage? Yeah. Well, I mean, she was trying to get engaged. Then again, there you go, that's basically what Fire Emblems become in a lot of cases. Actually, I think my favorite one, there was this VG Cats comic about it. They're like, oh man, do you guys want to die screwing? And there's just Tarja sitting there, just like, friggin' like biting her hand or something. She's like, yes! They're like looking around pointing like, yeah, those guys are making out, those guys are already naked. Like, everyone's just getting busy. So, by the way, apparently these guys can't fall asleep. But thankfully they can't seem to hit that gremlin either. So alright. There we are. Rick should be able to finish him off, get some free XP out of that. Okay, Steve, what is your condition? I think if we sell that item from before, I might... That's an expendable. Okay, never mind. Never mind on the whole... Wait a minute. Did that say infinite uses? Is that an infinite use item? Because it said... All one target... Oh, target none, okay. For a second there I thought it was infinite uses. That would have been amazing. But does anybody know if that's like a Pendra thing? Because it seems like a Pendra thing. I just want to point out, we have been on this map for a month. Thanks to Destin completely bailing on us here and basically just announcing, hey, I'm gonna be all mysterious and crap. You know, go check out this mountain, it'll totally give you all your answers. Yeah, we've been stuck here, putzing around, friggin' at war with a chicken for a month. And we found another hourglass. Good. They're just lying around everywhere, apparently. Good. Our bonus is probably gonna be $5. They're probably gonna charge us for rent for staying this freaking long. Yeah, we've been here a month. It's ridiculous. Not in real time, in-game, obviously, but dang. Okay, still getting XP. It'll probably be like 5 more encounters before he finishes off those golems. But dude, this might be the longest map I've ever done in the series. Yeah, pardon you for having a short rest. I mean, for once you're actually not taking a nap right outside of a town you could be camping in. So that's alright, that's forgivable. Okay. Let's go to item commands, let's go to sell some stuff. Okay, first of all, how much are these? 75, so they can't be super amazing. Bracer protection, scroll of discipline, yeah, that can go. I don't really expect to need it for anything. That'll be enough to revive one unit. We've still got a revive stone, so we should be able to get one of his stone units back up. Mantles feel like they suck. Glass pumpkins, I feel like we're going to need those for something important later. Amulets, get rid of those. Mage robes, get rid of one of you. I'm still kind of on the fence on abusing the tiny clothing bug, because this would just basically be infinite cash. Apparently Bloodstained Robe is amazing, and I need to put that on somebody as soon as I can. Plain clothing, weirdly fancy, but whatever. Dragon Shield feels like that's a little bit cheap considering what it actually is. Bandana, might need one. Yeah, exit organized screen. Hopefully this will be alright. Okay. That bracer of protection seems like it could potentially be really useful. First off, let's go see what these people have to say. This is the only one I haven't talked to. This is where the progenitor uses power. Killing hundreds of engines, it's well, that is a pretty metal way to die. How'd you die? Oh, you know, friggin' got sick. How about you? Oh, I got stabbed by a mountain. I don't know. There's worse ways to go. Okay. Yes, we do. So we've got several dead here. Right. Thing is, we need numbers. Yeah, I think we're gonna have to sell that bracer. So we need another 850 or 860 rather to get the others back. And then that will be just enough time for him to be able to use his Pendra. We should be able to use one of those hourglasses, which I think will guarantee that it gets used. Because I think that just makes everyone move slower, so the little time meter goes up faster. It feels like it should say it makes time go faster, but whatever. Okay, let's go here. Let's go ahead and sell some stuff. And I'm gonna probably catch hell for selling so many important items. It's funny because that keeps coming up over and over and over again when it comes to the X Division run. It's like every single time I sell something, I'm like, no, it was the most important thing ever. Like, started running into budget issues in that game. They're like, oh yeah, I'm sorry, the creator of the mod chimes in. It's like, yeah, I'm sorry, I had a little bit of a heart attack when you went and dismantled the core of the base you just captured. Because that thing was worth like $1 million, which would have solved all of our budgetary issues basically forever. Anyway, so, you know, now I'm probably going to sell a couple of these books. Like, they may boost one thing or other, but... I need that spear just in case. Am I ever going to use one of these? I'm going to say it's really unlikely. Like, I know it's supposed to be good. I know that I got what I think is the armor to make that happen. Right? No, I didn't. I'm thinking of my Martial Black Queen run. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm just going to sell it. So, do you have to bring them all the dead to that location to revive them? Technically, no. So, you can use Altars of Resurrection, or you can use, or you can bring them to a witch, and then it just costs a crap load to bring them back. And then there is I believe it's 40% chance that if they aren't revived by the end of the fight, they just become a zombie. Now, the one saving grace in this whole thing is that that can't happen to fairies. So, while technically I don't need to bring these back to save them, I do want to still do so. Just because in the... Alright, well that's one more back. Because in the future... well, in order for there to be a future, I need to go ahead and actually win this fight. Also, I will be right back, just one sec. Hello there, Mr. Serbo. How are things? Also, yeah, sorry for the general quietness. But yeah, stuff happens. Or do you mean just it's too quiet in general? Alright, I want this guy to go ahead and eat his power fruit because I want to see this one dealie in the back here gone. Alright, so we need, what was it, 487 I think it was? So we go over here, go ahead and sell some stuff. Oh wait, we have 487. We have exactly 487, how about that? Alright, anyway, yeah. So you can try to put an update for FFT? Nice, okay. Should be just in time for maybe doing some tomorrow afternoon or so. Sounds about dang right. But yeah, Mr. Cow, those matches were crazy close. Like, I was I was joking earlier, you know what? I need to go ahead and nominate you for freaking just, like, champion of everything Armored Core ever. Holy crap. So for those of you that don't really look at Armor Core stuff or whatever else, the long and short of it was there was an AI tournament. Now, one of the games in that series is dedicated to just like you have your 5 mechs that you make. It's like basically just build it out of freaking Legos for crying out loud. Imagine like if you had a fighting game, but you made an AI, and then like you had a roster of 5. That's basically what that game is. Oh yeah, and all of your characters are mechs. Those big old friggin' Gundams, more or less. But yeah, anyway, so what ends up happening is yeah, so far, Mr. Cow here basically has gone and done pretty much every, just gone and shown up almost every challenge run in the friggin' series. Like, for example, I spent months doing a thing that I thought was pretty unique on just trying to go through the entire thing with only rockets, which are like the suckiest weapon in the game, more or less, next to parry blades. But that's a whole other story. And then yeah, he like shows up a few days later, like, yeah, check it out, I did it way, 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 way better. But yeah, he didn't actually use those words, but I'm just saying, dude, like, his run, ridiculously precise. I don't think he even missed a shot, is the thing. Like, the whole deal is just everything's moving around crazy fast, and you've got, for whatever reason, you've got a dumbfire weapon when everything else uses a lock-on. So there's just a dumbfire weapon in the mix for some reason. And, yeah, they absolutely sucked. So, that was just a downright miracle. And then, yeah, there was an AI tournament, and recently, like, the finale was this morning. And so, specifically, the build that he was fighting was supposed to be a counter to him. Specifically, it was built with all kinds of meta stuff. Like, I was joking there was just a Mountain and Viper fight, except if he didn't get caught monologuing at the end. It would basically be like that with robots. So, if you're curious to see what that looks like, Mr. Cow, you want to post the link if you can? I was like, dude, that mess was awesome. That mess was freaking awesome. Just, yeah. AC is an awesome series. Like, honestly, just like Ogre Battle and things like that, it's just another one of those series that had so many cool things going for it, and it's bizarre that it's as dead as it is. Because, like, for that one, they've been going for 20 years, and now is the longest time that it's ever been before another sequel. They had so many games that kept coming out, and literally every single time, just like the Ogre Battle series, every time that they went and released another sequel, they did everything wrong. Like, the last time that we got an Ogre Battle game was the PSP remake back in, like, 2011 or 2010 or something. And I was looking for that game. I was looking for it for months. I was excited out of my mind to see it. And you know what? I ended up missing it by a week. You know why? Because even looking for it, I couldn't find the dang thing. Because they just didn't, like, advertise anything about it. There was the video that was out for ages, and I kept refreshing that same website over and over, like, is it out yet? Is it out yet? Is it out yet? Because my internet sucked. So trying to get on PSN was a friggin' nightmare. So like, okay, you know, it's gonna be here, it's gonna be here. Wait a minute. Why is it not here? Why is it not here? Why is it not here? I thought it was gonna be here. When's the release date? No one's gonna tell me. That was depressing. That mess was depressing. Alright. So Rick is gonna have a nap now. Let's see if this works. You're about to use an hourglass. Good. Oh, that makes that time go slower. Okay, never mind then. That's not terribly useful. I think that's probably useful for not running into, well, it's probably useful for getting your bonuses up, that's for sure. But if we can get a Pendra going here, yeah, there we go. There's the link. So, that's good stuff right there. What business have you here, says the human. You are not wanted, die. Rude. Like, dude, we just came to sell you insurance. Thank you very much. Oh, crap, son of a... Oh, no, 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 I've done this all wrong. Okay. We need to dodge everything forever. Please dodge, please dodge, please dodge, please dodge. Please dodge! Oh my god, the dodges are real! I mean, we might as well stick in it. Oh, wait, what? Well, I guess we won. The day of reckoning is near. Okay, cool. I mean, I guess we'll just reckon that day then. Reckon it's all good. Good thing that those crazy hell demons just kind of gave up. I mean, that would have been a problem, but okay. It's alright. It's acceptable. So yeah. The Varsnelk. Wait a minute, is that what it was called in One Vision? I've done. We had a pretty okay bonus, considering. So I don't know if that's a set bonus or not. We probably would have done much better if we hadn't spent a frickin' month on the fight. But you know. Oh no. No! Dude, that's depressing. Saradin turned into a zombie. So he's plot dead too. What am I supposed to find here? Yeah, great. We found Saradin dying. That's what we found. It says dead! Oh my god! Exit the steadfast. Heard that the Revolutionary Army is not willing to settle this matter peacefully. I mean, we kind of want to. Yeah, I mean, he's got a point. Definitely got a point there. I missed 3 to 5 shots in the demon video. Well, whatever. Close enough. It was still way more accurate than mine, but still. That's why I ended up keeping like 100 plus rockets on me. Change takes place over a long period of time? Yeah, pretty much. That's exactly how society changes. He's not wrong. I mean, realistically, the best bet here is to just go take out the douchebags, which we've already gotten rid of Raid. He was a big part of the problem. Go get rid of the Lodician leadership. Actually, you know, that's, funnily enough, that's actually I think the reason why Matsuno ended up declaring Knight of Lotus non-canon. Because one of the endings that you can get literally just solves every problem in the series. Because the main character of that game is the one that ends up going and ruining it for everybody later. But yeah, there's literally an ending where it's just like, screw that. Got my lady friend here. We're just gonna go ahead and not go hang out in hell or whatever, so we're just gonna go, like, retire and get laid. So, yeah, bye. And that's basically the ending. They just, like, ditch everything and then go together to retire peacefully. It's like, that's my favorite ending. Do you vote to get rid of the meanies? So, he does not need to be concerned about his life, cares for others, considers his feeling. Okay, whatever. He plans to make this kingdom a better place for all. I mean, yeah, that's exactly the thing. He got in power now, so if we just talk with him and get this all, are you the caliber to lead this kingdom? And there we go, roll credits. Person of lordly caliber. I mean, just tell him, dude. We're literally, we're literally just here to talk to him. Can't be positive. I don't want to trust him. Yeah, I mean, dude seems alright. He's, like, a little fruity sometimes, but whatever, you know, that, no judging. Alright, also, hang on one more minute, please. Gotta step away for a sec. Alrighty, and I'm back. Sorry for the pause there. Actually, I'm probably gonna have to wrap it up pretty soonish here. But anyway, might as well finish this up here. It's like, oh, bye, save. Just do whatever you want. God. Like, no, Dad. What did you do? Did you murder that dude? Even though you totally didn't murder that dude. It's probably like his honor or some bullcrap. This dude's just like self-sacrificing all the time, I guess. Well then. Wow. So, okay, so he is deliberately made to be fruity. That's literally the thing, then? I thought that was just a weird localization thing. General Stuck that he took counsel from a foreign sorcerer? Yeah, that always goes well. Weird, okay. You know what? That's an interesting setup. I like that. It's really Game of Thrones type stuff going around. Okay, so there's Witness. Also Azor, I guess, if we want to go down that route now. Yeah, bum deal on Saradin, though, I gotta say. Although, I guess... Does it say that he died? Let's see. Zeta? Okay, whatever. That's that weird chick that was doing weird stuff to her. She's like, oh man, I want to be the best slave ever. Where's Mr. Saradin? He dead. He has become one of the undead. I mean, that's interesting. It's interesting that it actually says he's a zombie. That's an interesting one. Alright. Now. Let's go ahead and go to the screen here. Yeah, so that's the thing. If a leader of any one of these teams ever dies, there's a very, very good chance that that's going to end up happening to them. So now, what I was mentioning earlier about the whole cheat thing, right? So Saradin can now become a fairy. I can turn him in... Actually, I don't know what'll happen, but I can turn him into a fairy. Same thing will happen with this cockatrice. I basically just use the save editor to turn them into a different type of unit. They retain their stats, technically, but because of the way that everything works in this, they're still pretty much as harmless as any other fairy. They actually need about 500 in any particular... They need 500 in both Dex and Vitality, because apparently that's what their move scales off of, to actually be threatened. So, you know, that's, that ain't gonna happen. So, alrighty then. Let's see, as far as everything goes here, I think Rick will probably do pretty well with that staff. Because there was a really fancy staff. Or, I guess he can't even use it. Interesting. Okay, whatever. The Harspeleg. Crossbelg. Friggin' Welsh. That'll definitely help him out. Bloodstained Robe, hell yeah, that seems like Rick all the way. He probably isn't super good on making friends. What's up, little boy? I know, a bit of a cough. Okie dokie. Alright, there we go. So that just changes all of his stuff to Word of Pain. Okay, oh, so it's automatically just whatever he's strongest at. Gotcha. So we got Fire, Word of Pain. So that'll be an improvement. And then what about this? Now we got Mantles, we got Glass Pumpkins. What do Glass Pumpkins do? Because this item is unique, it cannot be equipped. So Deneb only, I guess, and then... See, that'll reduce his attack by 2. But it'll give him slightly more defense. Doesn't feel really particularly worth it. Right, any of this unique crap work on you guys? Okay, that makes your healing suck. I mean, Dio we're saving for later, since apparently at this point, I was told sometime after this fight, in particular, is when everybody would get better. And oh yeah, okay, all petrified units became unpetrified. Because I know she died petrified, I think. I think she died petrified. I'm not 100% on that now that I think about it. Alright, so there we go, there's that. So he's got old clothing. I don't know if they just spawn old clothing, because this was an item that I could get earlier. And I don't know what'll happen if I turn him into a fairy. I think they... I don't know whether they retain undead status or whatever. And then, yeah, we're probably just going to disband all teams at this point and reassemble everything. So I'm gonna, by next time, I'm going to go ahead and resort all the teams, because I want Barbara to be an upgraded archer. I need to go get everybody revived. That's going to be a whole thing, so... Anyway, so I gotta go get my kiddo fed, all that kind of thing. So you wonder how Buster changed his ACs. It looks like it'll be one final video before his break. Honestly, I don't think it'll be as bad as expected, just because they... Like, whenever it comes to stuff like that, an Article 13, whatever, they do stupid stuff all the time, and it tends to get reversed all the time. It's just... It tends to normalize, is what I'm trying to get at. Like, stuff tends to normalize pretty regularly, so... Maybe, don't announce that it's the end of the world just yet. We'll see how it goes. Alright. Need Veo out of the party. We'll put him back later. And, yeah, go figure. Friggin' Katrata ended up making it through relatively unscathed. So that'll be that for now. Actually, no, wait. No, it won't be. Because I want to go see if I can get that upgraded archer now. You there. Can you become a fancy archer? No, I still don't know what those require. So if anybody knows, yeah, feel free to let me know. Because I know they need that fancy holy bow right there. I don't know what else they need. Can you become a paladin? So you can become a fencer. I don't know if that's actually an upgrade. Feels like it would be a downgrade. Don't know, because apparently paladins are just better in every way. And this thing if he has the armor for it. Now, what's he lacking for paladin status? He's lacking everything, it would seem. So the equipment we can get, but he's lacking in Vit, Strength, and Dex. Because apparently these phalanxes just train him to be absolute garbage. Alright. Alright, see you, Mr. Cerebro. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. I'm just basically checking if anyone can be any fancier classes, and it doesn't look like it as of yet. I was trying not to look up whether or not certain classes could be accomplished. But you know, sometimes you gotta wonder. Anyway. So, see you next time. Gotta get going. Have a good one.